because if it's only two, then yeah, why you want to record it? Eh? Mm.
I'm going to show some stuff, and I want the people to be aware of the stuff that I'm going to
Mm.
show. Yes. Okay.
Oh, I see.
So let's
Mm.
start with the call to order.
Mm.
Okay. So we actually found everything to be 100% in order. So I hereby declare this meeting in session. Okay. And the next point on the agenda is to welcome guests. And yeah, so welcome, France. Okay, we're not going to have a word of the day. The clocksmith isn't here. The wordsmith hasn't joined yet, and the crutchsmith hasn't joined yet. Okay, um, so let's just do the roll roundup quickly. Like, we have two types of roles. We've got 11 leadership positions, and then we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 um, meeting positions, and that's the clocksmith, the wordsmith, the crutchsmith, the crutch words, the toastsmith, the impromptu smith, and the joke smith. But I think we're going to change that to the jester instead of the joke smith. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so France, over to you. Your first joke for the day
My
or,
first
or the
joke.
evening.
What
So
can I
30 to
say?
90
Welcome,
seconds.
everyone. Hey, how blessed we are with this fantastic meeting. With plenty of attendees. So yes, I think. Look, the big thing is if we can have a look on the upside, I suppose as the meeting progress or future meetings, you'll find that more and more people would join your meetings. And then, of course, then you can have a successful meeting. So currently, to be honest, maybe make an honest joke. It's rather difficult to have a meeting with the MC of the evening, and then, of course, you being the MC and myself doing the impromptu speeches. So yeah, and having jokes. It's rather
Yeah.
interesting to have a joke.
Yeah.
Just off the cuff. I'm not so good off the cuff, to be quite honest. But
Yeah.
yeah. Mm.
So, so maybe this is a good opportunity for developing the off the cuff sort of jokes.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, to be
Okay.
quite honest, Frans, but let's continue and then maybe later we'll have a joke or two, you know?
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Mm.
definitely, yes. So, so the next thing to talk about is the agenda changes. And as the jester would point out, we've been horribly dropped tonight, but yeah, as far as attendees are concerned. And so the agenda, well, most of it we're going to leave out because they simply don't have people. Okay, but
Mm.
having addressed the agenda changes, we can now do the elevator speeches. Yeah. So 30 to 60 seconds. Um, and I think you quite familiar with the elevator speeches here, Franz.
Yes, 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 I am, in fact.
Yeah,
I
just
am.
your name and your business
Of
and
course. Yeah, let me quickly. Yeah, my name is Frans Nortje. I am a professional speaker, and I'm also managing a big research institute, the International Trade, and I'm also a facilitator. So what do I facilitate on? Well, on international trade. My company, my private business, the name is Grow Masterminds. So in fact, what I do is I will grow your commercial value. How do I do that? By sharing the knowledge that I've obtained over 40 years within international trade, sharing it with you. So I do have courses that I present, import courses, export courses, courses on Incoterms, so various courses. If you need my number, you can ask Frans and he will give it give it to you. Thank you. Over to you, Frans.
Thank you very much, Frans. So, um, my name is Frans de Ventia, and okay, so the business that I'm running, it's actually called Network Mine. Now, there's two parts to Network Mine. It actually starts off as a business networking chapter where we get together and exchange. Um, but basically, we tell each other what we do, and then we can then refer business to each other. That business networking. But part of business networking, you have to be able to verbally say to people, "This is the business that I do," and therefore speaking. So it's network mind, which is business networking, and public speaking. So the two go together. That symbiotic relationship that they married together in a way. You can't promote yourself if you can't speak. So basically, what I'm basically doing is public
Hmm.
speaking here, but it's really business networking, and it's called Network Mind because what we're doing is, it's not on a silver plate, the money, but it is there. If you're prepared to mine the business, you can have the business. And back to the master of ceremonies,
Yeah.
which again is me. So,
Still
so
you continuing, Frans.
yeah,
So
so,
maybe I'm thinking of starting a club, but this club need to have perfect attendance. But then I'm worried that no one would show up.
yes.
And then once nobody shows up, why do we want to open a club? But sorry, I
Yeah,
just thought that's a joke. Yeah.
yeah, no, that is funny. Yes, yeah, yeah. You have to attend if you want to be part of
Mm.
it. Yeah. So, so the next thing on the agenda is the toast, and France Norkia has kindly offered to give us a toast tonight. And yeah, so
Yeah.
over to you, France.
Frans, tell me, do you have a glass or your glass charged?
Um, I don't have a glass, but I do have a mug of very good beverage. I believe it's Coca-Cola.
Oh, lovely. Is it clean Coca-Cola? But it doesn't matter. It can be any type of beverage. And this is the thing
Yes.
about a toast. When you have a toast, first of all, make sure that the attendees is going to have a glass or something to drink or something to share a toast on. I think that's the first important part. Secondly, a toast is not something where you really go around like the way that we see it at the wedding ceremony, where people fall around and cheers and all of this. That's a little bit of a chaotic toast. So, like with network mining, we do it in an orderly fashion. And the way that we do it is we deliver a toast, and then we lift a glass, and then we propose the toast to whatever it is. It can be to an institution, it can be to a person, it can be to our country, it can be to a business, it can be to success, whatever it is. So a toast is normally not too long. It's not a speech of 5 or 7 minutes. It's short, it's powerful, and then the Toastmaster will now then announce the toast, and everybody will drink a toast to that specific topic that was delivered. So I think let's start, and tonight. I'm going to propose a toast to Network Mine, and I'll start it as follows. I would say that amongst men who rise to fame and leadership, there are two types. Those to whom it is a natural born instinct, and then there are those that find it a little bit difficult and they would want to achieve and succeed on projects and on leadership tasks, and they want to get an award. And that way, the latter type will grow and become successful leaders. So you'll find that Frans from Network Mine have noted that the people of the latter type, in other words, those that are not born with the gift of just being great, but those that are born and who want to achieve success by doing, by constantly participating in projects, by constantly participating in leadership tasks and speech tasks like we are doing tonight. Network Mind realized that there's an opportunity for those people to grow, and therefore France started Network Mind to help this type, the latter type, to grow, to become successful leaders, to become great leaders. Because if you keep on doing and participating project for project, task by task, and leadership task by leadership task, that is how you grow. So join me in a toast to Network Mind. To Network Mind.
Network Mind.
Thank you, Frans.
Thank you, Frans. That was great, and thank you for toasting to Network Mind. You know, obviously, it's a business that's very close to my heart, and
Yeah.
now we're ready to go into an education segment. And what I'd like to do tonight is I'd like to present something to you, which is
Hmm.
actually, um, you know, you say like if you join Network Mind Public Speaking, you know, what sort of certificates or qualifications do you get, and how does it benefit you? And of course, the structure in Network Mind business networking is exactly the same as in public speaking.
Yes.
It's different to Toastmasters. It's actually quite radically different, um,
Mm-hmm.
because it's actually primarily built on business networking, but it works for public speaking. So I'm just
Yeah.
going to share my screen quickly, and then I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay. Can you
Okay.
see my screen?
Yes, yes, yep, I
Okay.
can.
So public speaking and leadership. So those are the two main things. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you can't become a good public speaker if you don't become a little bit of a leader at the same point in time. And if you're a leader,
Mm.
you need to be able to speak. So, so the two are married together: public
Yeah.
speaking and leadership.
Mm.
Okay. So let's talk about. Okay, we'll drill down into more detail in another time. But this is just an educational overview: public speaking and leadership qualifications. So, as far as public speaking is concerned, you get a public speaking associate. Okay, that's equivalent to a um, diploma, and a public speaking licentiate is more or less equivalent to a bachelor's degree, and a public speaking fellowship is equivalent to a master's degree. But you're not going to be able to take this certificate and say, try and go to SACWA and say, look, I've got this qualification, because it's not going to be SACWA certified. It's just given to you for self edification. It may eventually be part of a master's degree, but at this point in time, you're just an associate of Network Mind, a licentiate or a fellowship. And once you've completed the fellowship in both public speaking and leadership, you can do the Grand Fellowship program. And that is the highest that you can get in Network Mind. And if you're a Grand Fellow, you can actually take up one of the paid positions, because we are not a charity. We are
Mm.
a franchise, an international franchise. And so you can actually get a take up a paid position and get a salary for doing what you love, for doing this type of work. And I am really excited about that possibility. Okay, so let's just look basically at the public speaking associate, and uh, you might see there's 11 assignments. Okay, part one, your first speech, second speech is a speech evaluation, um, and then you've got an evaluation speech, research speech, and a generic speech. Okay, so those are just basic types of speeches that you're going to get into. And then part two, we start getting into a little bit more meaty stuff. your communication style. You're going to start looking at body language, active listening. You're going to start looking at mentoring and how to connect with your audience. And once you've completed those 11 assignments, then you get an associate certificate. You'll be an associate of Network Mind. Okay.
Yes.
So now, how do we get a licentiate? Okay. Well, to get a licentiate is not too difficult. Okay, so your first speaking, we go for persuasive speaking, active listening, connect with storytelling, social speeches, and that a social speech is a toast, that type of stuff. Choose, and you know, if you put on the spot in front of a whole lot of people, you have to accept a certificate or a trophy or something, or you have to give a trophy to somebody. These are all social speeches. If you're a best man at a wedding, that's a social speech. So we're going to learn about that. And then you've got 2 electives. Okay. I'm not going to go through the electives, but there's some really nice and difficult electives to do. And then part 2, we're going to look at conflict resolution, create a podcast. And so we're not going to mark it as complete until your podcast is successful. How do we decide if it's successful? Okay, we're going to be fair about that. But you have to really create a podcast and get it working, okay? Online meetings. This is an online meeting. A difficult audience. Imagine you're trying to give a speech and people are swearing at you and giving you a hard time. You have to be able to handle that. And then we got 2 electives again. So that is the licentiate part of it. And then on the fellowship side, you've done a lot of speaking now. So we're going to talk about your public speaking journey. You're going to have to manage a successful event. So you're going to have to create an event and manage it. You must give a professional speech, you know, that you could actually go to one of these speech places, you know, the businesses that employ speakers. You have to give a professional speech that would be on that sort of level. Develop your vision and moderate a panel discussion. Okay, and then part 2 is professional evaluations. How to evaluate somebody's speech professionally, and coordinate a skilled speaker training program. Now the beautiful thing with this is because it's a franchise, it's not a charity. The skilled speaker program, if you present the skilled speaker program, you can get a minimum of 50% of the income from the skilled speaker program can go to you. So let's say you have 10 or 12 delegates at a business and they charge 5,000 Rand each. Let's say that's 50,000 Rand, 50 to 60, and 50% is yours at 25 to 30,000. So isn't that an incentive? And it's like 1 hour a week for 8 weeks. Okay. And once you've done that, okay, so you see this, it's not easy. We're not making it easy, but make it worthwhile. That if you get a fellowship, you are worth a fellowship. Create effective visual aids and understanding conflict resolution. Imagine we're in a meeting here with public speaking, or you're giving a meeting, you're giving a presentation somewhere, and there's suddenly a lot of conflict. And, you know, even before the meeting, how do you resolve that? You have to know how to resolve that. And then we've got 2 electives, okay? Okay, so that was in the public speaking side. Now, on the leadership side, we get a leadership associate, a licentiate, and a fellowship. Now, these are non-paid positions. You don't get paid for these positions in leadership, and there's 11 positions. And the reason for that is you're actually learning. So once you've learned and you've passed all the exams, your examination is a speech describing what you've done in the project or the assignment, and you close your assignment off with a speech. So again, you're doing speeches. And once you've finished that, you're then able to take a paid position in Network Mind. So let's jump into that. Associate. Okay. There's the chapter MC. We also have a trainee MC who will look after the evaluation session. Okay. There's a clocksmith, the wordsmith, the crutchsmith, the toastsmith, the impromptu smith, and then the jokesmith or jester, and then understanding your leadership style. Okay. 9 projects. Part 2, we're going to look at the chapter CEO, the Chief Executive Officer, the chapter secretary treasurer. Okay, so the CEO, I mean, the MC is actually the master, the president, you can say, and the sergeant at arms rolled into one role, the MC. Okay, the secretary treasurer, it's 2 roles that are rolled into one. Okay. Okay, and then we get a mentor supervisor. Now, the reason why that is a separate role is because everybody must get a mentor, and in business networking as well as public speaking. So we try to have 10 mentors, and every mentor must be assigned 1 or more people to mentees. Okay. A hosting supervisor. So when we get guests who come to a meeting, they must take the guests and take them through things, and afterwards have a little meeting with them and try to get them to sign up as a member. Okay. What is the advantage of being a member? Well, if you're a member, then you can do these speeches and get credit for them. If you're not a member, you can do the speeches, but it's just for practice. The education supervisor will actually look through your public speaking and your leadership and help you to set up a plan that you can actually make progress and achieve the fellowship. Public relations supervisor. So that's the public relations for the chapter. And assignment 16 is team building. Okay. Remember, team building is about leadership as well. So how do you lead a team building event? Okay. So and you pass all of that, you do all those speeches, and successfully, you have to be successful. You can't do a speech and say, I've done all the work for the chapter secretary and treasurer, and it turns out you haven't got a clue what it's all about. You have to do it again, and we make sure that you know what's happening, so that it's because the speech is your test. So the speech has to be up to standard. And then we get to the licentiate level. Okay, so the membership committee consists of the CEO plus 4 officers, and they have a meeting after every meeting. There's a little 5-minute meeting. The membership committee gets together. It's the CEO, the growth officer, the conflict officer, learns how to deal with people fighting. Yeah, performance officer, that's performance of the chapter as a whole. The quality assurance officer are the people who members of the business networking or the public speaking, are they getting quality? Are they learning? Are they making progress? Quality assurance officer. And then your assignment is ethical leadership. Okay, so part 2. Okay, so this is about non-salaried region positions. Okay, they could have been salaried, but they're non-salaried because this is part of your training. So you're not going to get paid to be trained. These are things that you need to do so that you can take up those positions. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is the area director. Okay. So area director you'd be like a mentor to the MCs and the CEOs of each club, but he would have between 1 to 10 chapters that he's looking at. Okay, a region advisor. Okay, so he would advise to the region, to the chapters, and also to the region management and global management. A logistics advisor. If we have a region meeting, the logistics advisor must be able to talk about venues and costs and all sorts of things, and really get the logistics together. And then a parliamentary advisor. Okay, it might sound a bit spurious, but it's actually very important. Very formal. And we're going to work out of Robert's Rules of Order. It's a very thick book, very old, but it has been updated all this time. So any disputes about, the way we've ordered something, that comes out of Robert's Rules of Orders, which explains the gavel. Okay, the gavel is part of that. Okay, and then we get a technology advisor. Okay, so these are all advisors. They're non-salaried positions, but as part of your training, the technology advisor will advise on websites, online meeting tools, and other technologies. And then you're going to do something about leading in your volunteer organization. So you either need to join a volunteer organization and create some sort of leadership position there, or create your own volunteer organization to look after maybe a temporary one. So it's easy, but it's possible. We're trying to make real leaders. So we're not giving you easy projects, just tick the blocks. No, show us some real leadership.
Yeah,
And then
true.
yeah, yeah, for real leadership, not certificate leadership. This is practical leadership.
Yeah.
Uh, and then we're going to start looking at the board of directors. Okay, so the board of directors includes the um, the paid positions. Yeah, it's basically the region and the global positions. Okay, so let's look at the global positions first. Okay, so the guy that's in charge of everything is the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer, and you need to study that. And we're giving the material to study it. It's part of the assignment, but you need to give two speeches. Okay, the first speech is from one angle, and the second speech is from another angle. So you're looking at the CEO from two perspectives, two very different perspectives. Okay, and then the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer, and again two speeches, two perspectives, and the COO, the Chief Operations Officer, again two perspectives, and then the assignment leading any situation and leading your team. Okay, you need a team to be able to lead it. So you need to have some sort of management experience. And even if you have one person in your team, you have some junior that you're training, you've got a team and you can demonstrate how you lead. Okay. And then we get to carrying on with the board of directors, but the region directors. Okay. So you get region directors, and they basically look after all the non-salaried area directors. Okay. Not just that, but structurally that's where they fit in. The quality, sure. I said quality assignment assurance director. It should be quality assurance director. That assignment word is extra. Okay, so please ignore that. I'll fix that up here. Okay. And then you get the operations directors. Okay, these are not one, it could be many of them. Okay. Training directors, growth directors, public relations director. Okay, so these directors' positions are basically supporting the individual chapters, and they can go through the area directors, but they supporting the chapters as such, and of course reporting to global management and the chapters. So they in between, and they're going to get it's a paid position. Hopefully they'll get a really good salary, but we'll see what happens down the line. Okay. And then you've got a assignment called leading in difficult situations and high performance leadership. That's your 44th assignment. In speaking, you only had 34. Okay, so that's 44. And in other words, 78 assignments, and you've got fellowship and leadership. Now, there's 52 weeks in a year, so you're not going to do it in a year, but maybe in 2 years. But let me not say you can't do it in a year, because maybe you can. Okay. And then the next step is a grand fellowship. Now, that is the highest you can go in Network Mind, and it applies to both the business networking and the public speaking. So you need to have a fellowship in public speaking plus a fellowship in leadership And if you have that, you can then start the grand fellowship assignments. We don't just give it to you. You got to do that extra, get that je ne sais quoi, that extra little bit of something there. Okay. So let's look at the grand fellowship assignments. Okay. So the first assignment is to just verify your leadership and your speaking fellowships. Okay, so that one might be very easy. As long as you have the certificate, it's a piece of cake to do that assignment. But of course, it has to end up with a speech as well. You can't just say, no, I've got it. Yeah, you've got to give a speech. Okay. And then whatever you do, you're going to give a speech in the end. Okay. And then you need to choose 2 electives. So either manage projects successfully, okay, managing time, present a proposal, or successful collaboration. So you can choose 2 out of those, and whatever you choose ends up with a speech. And then assignment 4, you must choose only 1 elective, and it's only 1 elective because they're very difficult. These, so you have to preferably do both. But because both of them are difficult, you can choose one and we'll accept that. So you can either become a public speaking champion, okay, and there's a whole training course to go through, and you may or may not get there, okay, a public speaking champion, and you have to prove that you're there, and you give a speech in acknowledgement of your journey, okay, or you can start a new chapter. Okay. And then for assignment 5, you can complete the Grand Fellowship project, which is quite a substantial project. Okay. So if you get all of that right, then you're a Grand Fellowship. And if you get the Grand Fellowship, you can just apply for a job in the region or the global board management. You're qualified. And even if you just get the leadership right, the leadership side right, you're also qualified for a job in the region management. Okay. So basically, this is also training you for those positions. Okay. And also for whatever business you're in, this will help you to get ahead as well. Okay. Questions and answers, Frans?
Well, from my side, I've got maybe 2 questions. First of all, what is the cost? And then secondly, how long will it normally take a speaker to complete the program?
Okay. So, okay. So typically there's, if we have a meeting every week, okay, there's 52 weeks in a year, but we'll skip perhaps 4 or 5 of those weeks because of Christmas and Easter, etc. Okay. So let's say you have 45 to 50 opportunities to speak, but in a chapter, not everybody can speak at the same time. But of course, we can have special meetings, speakathons where we can have we just get together and just speak. Yeah? So we can organize that to help you get through your speeches. But 34 speeches, okay, you're going to have to do just about every week in order to get through it. And so we're going to get once we get this going, we're going to get another chapter going as well. So that if you want to, you can go from, you can maybe give 2 speeches a week, which will help you. So you could get your public speaking done in a year. It might take you longer. It depends how serious you are and how hard you work. If you're prepared to do 1 speech a week, yes, you can do it. It's not easy, but it's possible. Otherwise, you can sit back and say, okay, it will take me 2 or 3 years. Okay, so it's up to you. Okay. With the leadership side, it's actually more difficult because there's 44 projects, and some of those projects, especially in the fellowship side, is not something you can do in a week. You might have to spend 1, 2, or 3 months doing that project before you can actually deliver the speech.
Yes.
So if you work like a slave, potentially 1 year, but more realistic, leadership will take you 2 to 3 years. And let's say that public speaking has also got some difficult projects, maybe 2 years and 3 years, 5 years, and
Mm.
you can do it. If you really work hard, 2 years, and if you belong to more than one chapter and you're able to do two speeches and all the assignment work as well, two speeches a week, theoretically you can do it in 1 year, but I don't think anybody's going to get that right.
Mm. Yeah,
A-
yeah.
And then
It's
the
difficult to prepare a speech. I mean, it's not only it's got to be. I suppose it's got to be a properly delivered, prepared, properly prepared and delivered speech to count as a
it, it,
speech. Mm.
it has to be because
Mm.
your speech has to demonstrate that you've
Mm.
understood the assignment and you've done the assignment properly, and how
Mm.
your speech goes will actually, it will be very obvious that you know what the assignment's about, or you're really not quite sure. So if you're
Mm.
not quite sure, you're going to have to do it again. So yeah.
Yes. Well, and from the professional speaking point of view, there's a brilliant speaker, Billy Salekani, and
Yes,
he's got a famous saying that you need to be so good with your keynote, you must be able to dance with it. And this is the big thing, you know. So there's a big difference in preparing and delivering a speech and really preparing and delivering a speech. Got to have meaning and it's got to have an impact. So according to Bali
yes,
Selekani, you need to dance with your speech or dance with your keynote, in fact.
yes.
Yeah, so it's
The-
difficult, I think, to prepare two speeches. That's, you know, with a specific purpose. In
it's
2 a week, I think is going to be quite difficult. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah, so you're looking at 2 years basically.
well, 2 years for public speaking,
Hmm.
but to get the leadership right side as well,
Yeah.
another 2 or even 3 years because
Three.
it's
Hmm.
10 more projects in the public speaking.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I did a high performance project, and it took me almost a year just to complete the high performance project, and that is from the moment that you know start the project until completion.
Yes,
Almost a year on just one task. Yes, yes, one project
yes,
basically. Mm-hmm.
yes.
Okay.
No, so I would say that if you're working seriously, um,
Mm,
the reasonable time span would be about 5 years.
mm,
But if you working, but that's working seriously, not just taking it easy and just doing a speech here and there,
mm.
to really take it seriously. But if you take it extra seriously, you can halve that time. You can do it in 2 or 3 years, the
Okay.
whole thing.
Mm,
But if your aim is to get a position in a paid position in region, because maybe
mm.
you're out of work or something, so you want to focus on that, then you can go for the leadership side of it and get your
Yes.
fellowship in the leadership side, which then qualifies you for a region position. But there's 44 assignments and they're not easy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Can you do
I,
it
I,
simultaneously, the speech and the leadership together, or do you want to keep them separate, basically?
you can do them together, yeah. So we'll
Mm,
keep track of whatever you do. So
mm,
if you give a speech, you must say this is on the public speaking side or this is on the leadership side. Okay.
mm,
So on the business networking side, we don't have time to train you to speak and to train you as a leader. And that's
mm.
why I've separated it out from business networking. So business networking, you want to just do business networking, but you need to be able to speak. So,
Yeah,
so we have a separate chapter where we're going to
yeah.
focus on public speaking and leadership. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
It does. Yes, Frans, it does. Okay.
Okay, okay, no, that's great. Yes, okay. I see we are a little bit ahead of time, so
Mm.
I, I I wonder if I should can maybe do another um, educational just to make up some of the time because of
I
not so
don't
many
know.
members.
What's the purpose really? Again, you know. We need to have a meeting with attendees.
Yes.
What's the
Well,
point, you know?
I'm
Otherwise,
recording this.
taking minutes of a meeting taking up a lot of time. In fact, that's I know you're
Yes.
recording, but I think it's important maybe just to have at least, maybe two or three or four, well, extra attendees. That would make it,
More
I think,
worthwhile. Yes.
more worthwhile. Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. Well, uh, I think let us ask the jokesmith. I think this is
Mm.
maybe an appropriate time to give
Yeah.
off the cuff
Yeah.
humor.
So I've been thinking. So by looking at the program, it involves a lot of teams, and you really need to be a team player, and you need to build teams. Basically, that's what it's all about. So the nice thing about building teams is if things go wrong, you've got someone to blame.
Amen to that, John.
But that's one of the good things about teamwork, isn't it? They say teamwork is dreamwork, but if things people to blame.
Yeah, you have to have somebody to blame. Definitely,
Mm.
yes.
And it's like maybe how does NASA plan a party? You know, they plan it.
Yeah,
Yeah. How does
yeah,
NASA
yeah.
organize a party? They plan it.
No, they plan it, and you might think, well, a
Plan
party,
it.
just get a pile of beers and invite some
Mm.
people, but it's actually a lot more goes into it.
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. No, definitely. Definitely.
Eh? And that's where leadership comes in. And
Mm.
perhaps for your one of your leadership projects, you can actually have a big party and just demonstrate how you've planned it. All the steps. And
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah. But,
but yeah,
online meetings like this, I remember when I had to attend a lot of online meetings. Remember during COVID, it was a different story, and we had to really, well, even now these days, there's most of the, or not most of the meetings, but a lot of meetings are online. So
yes.
what I normally do is, if I see, it's the meeting is very slow, it's not progressing, then I would start to play around with my computer and say, I think I've got a network problem, network problem. Listen here, oh, my network is going. I'll see if I can log in again. That way you have a
Yeah,
long break, and towards the end of the
yes.
meeting, you join again. Say, but those were
How did
tricks
it go?
that we've played. That was tricks we played during COVID, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, so you have to attend the meeting, but you just attend,
Mm.
and it's like a little bit boring. And you
Yeah.
just say, guys, I've got network problems.
It's a quick way
Eh,
out.
Exit. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then
But
you
but
can
but
really say, why did the computer sneeze? No, because it had a virus.
oh, yeah, yeah, computer
Anyway.
viruses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talking about online meetings, we've been thinking
Hmm.
of having an in-person um, public speaking meeting as well.
Yes.
And the options we've been looking at is in the evening, the same time, 7:30, one evening,
Okay.
you know, and we've got a place in Centurion, Oppistoep,
Yeah.
where we can perhaps
Hmm.
do it. And there's a place in um, Watercliff Ridge
Okay.
called the Catwalk. It's a really upmarket place as well.
Hmm.
We can do that on one evening or Saturday morning. It's
Okay.
uh,
Is it is
what
it
do you
a, is
think of
it a
that, Ron?
meeting? Is it a meeting venue?
Yeah, so they've got both of them. They've got like a boardroom, and it would have some sort of meal afterwards as well. So,
Okay.
okay, so we'd all go there and we'd have our meeting, and then at a
Yeah.
certain point in time, we could say, okay, the dinner is served,
Hmm. Oh,
and
nice.
then we'll have waiters just bringing in the food in front of us. What we
Yeah.
sit at the same boardroom table, or we
Yeah.
might move to another venue to actually eat.
Yeah. Nice.
or
That would be, I
breakfast is
prefer, to be very honest with you, Frans, I prefer face-to-face meetings. I tell you, I
okay.
used to do a lot of facilitation online, and Teams, I don't know if you know Teams,
I
is
know
of,
Teams, yes.
and then, you facilitate, and the only thing you see is this round little dot with two, either PT or DJ or whatever the case might be, and that's it. So you log on and
Yes.
you greet everyone. Nobody even bothers to switch their cameras on. You
Yeah,
sit there and you talk away and
exactly.
you talk away, and you need to facilitate, you need to train these learners. They're not really bothered about you speaking away. So what I did is normally I finish early and I take a register because the people check out. So you'll
Yes.
find so you'll find they stayed. So their little round dot with their initials stay put. I end the meeting half an hour early and I take record of all the people that acted on time when I adjourned the meeting. And the rest, I took all the names down and I've just gave it back to the company and saying, listen, these people didn't attend, they've logged on, but they never logged out. Because,
Yes.
eventually it's your time, and this is the big thing. They need to have respect for your time as well. But anyway, I'm complaining. Let's continue with the meeting.
Yeah. So anyway, Franz, would you prefer in the evening or Saturday mornings to have a
Evening, yeah.
in-person?
No, evening would be better for me, yes, definitely.
Okay. Okay.
My
So
weekends are totally full, yeah, already, yeah.
no, okay. So I have spoken to some people, and yeah. There's two ways we can go.
Mm,
That we can have this. It's a Centurion chapter, online chapter.
mm,
So we can have one meeting in person, meeting online,
yeah.
or we can create separate chapters.
Mm,
But I think it would make more sense for one chapter because we don't have enough people to split.
yeah, 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 not yet, yeah.
Yeah,
But it will
not yet,
grow,
but
it will grow.
it will
Like
grow. Yes.
Jim Collins said in his book, Good to Great, the hedgehog effect, where you focus
Yes.
on one thing and you keep your focus and you grow and you become better and better, and that way you can build a company. Yeah, so
Exactly.
definitely.
Yes.
Mm, mm,
Apparently, Coca-Cola in
mm.
their first year of business, they sold eight eight Cokes. Yeah,
Sure.
eight beverages. So most
Yeah,
people would have said, it's not working, let's just shut it down. But they kept going,
yeah,
and
yeah,
Coca-Cola, yeah. So
yeah. So amazing. Amazing. And look at them today, eh?
and look at them today. So it shows you just got to keep going. Okay.
Yeah,
So I'm going to speak to
absolutely.
the other people about having an evening meeting in
Yeah,
person. Um, but what I'm thinking is maybe 1 week in person, 1 week online.
online.
The in person carries a bit of a cost because we have to get the venue and we have
Yeah,
to get the food and that as well.
of course. I understand.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So I'm not sure of the exact cost, but it probably wouldn't be under about 130 or something like that. So
Yeah, definitely not. Yes.
and probably a little above that.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
most probably more than that, especially if you need to pay for the venue as well. Venues are not cheap. Mm.
yes, yeah. So that money will cover the venue and the meal. So you can pay online before the time you'll have to RSVP and pay your
Mm.
money. Just give your proof of payment, and then you come along, join the meeting, you eat, and
Mm.
everything's yeah
Fine.
sorted. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
Good.
I'd like to just give another educational quickly. Um,
Mm.
and this is something that a lot of people don't actually pay much attention to, even sometimes advanced speakers. You'll find they get themselves in a little bit of a knot because they haven't paid too much attention to speech structure. And
Mm.
this is something that you should be fully aware of, even from your first speech. You should have this. Okay, can you see the screen there, Franz?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so there's actually four components to your speech structure. Is your speech title, extremely important, your opening, your body, and your conclusion. Okay, so let's just briefly go through this. So in a nutshell, you tell your audience what you're going to tell them, and in the body of your speech, you tell your audience what you want to tell them, breaking it up into one or more components. Okay, typically three components works well, but it can be any number. And conclusion, you tell your audience what you have just told them about.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it makes it sound so easy to tell a speech. You get a title and you tell them, look, I'm going to tell you about this. And then you tell them, and this comprises one, two, and three. And I told you about one, two, and three. And you finished. Like it's a little bit more complex than that. Okay. So the first thing is your title is extremely important. Okay. So you first have to decide what you're going to speak about. And I'm not going to tell you what you're going to speak about. Your speeches are your intellectual property. Network Mind is not interested in your speeches from that aspect. You speak about something, you develop something, your own IP, your intellectual property, that is yours.
Yeah.
It's not ours. But choose the title very carefully because the title of your speech is what pulls people in. They say you're going to speak about something, and because of the title, they think, I'd like to listen to that speech. Then all
Mm.
you've got is the title. The title is selling that to them. Okay, so spend some time in the title. Yeah. Okay, and then the opening, the greeting. Thank the MC for the introduction, and you can also thank the chapter members and the guests, visitors. Okay,
Yeah.
and then the second thing, you need to capture the audience's attention. Okay. So this is your opportunity to get the attention. This is your chance to grab their attention. So prepare something to say about yourself or something about what you're going to speak about that's going to grab their attention and their interest. If you
Yeah.
don't get it right, you might lose them for the rest of your speech. So put some effort into this. And then you introduce yourself, give a brief introduction of yourself and keep it very brief. And then you get your transition between your opening and the body of your speech. So a brief statement to transition into the body. So basically, you tell your audience what you are going to talk about. and that is your transition. You see, it's actually quite straightforward and easy.
Mm.
And then you go on with component one. We say we break it up into three components. So this is the first component that you'll be talking about it, but you need to treat it as a separate set of statements illustrating the component. And don't digress on different things. Just keep to that. Everything you say should be illustrating that component. And then you
Yeah.
transition a sentence or two to transition from component one to component two.
Yes.
In other words, you just tell them what you're going to talk about next. It's that simple. And then you get to component two. So this is the second component that you will be talking about it. And again, treat it as a self-contained unit that you will be sharing. And
Yes.
then a transition, a sentence or two to transition from component two to component three. Just tell them what you're going to talk about next.
Mm.
And then you talk about component three. So this is the third component that you'll be talking about. So this is again a set of sentences in your speech. It forms a unit. So obviously you're not limited to three components. You can have more or less, but it's got to fit into typically 5 to 7 minutes, or depending on your speech, it could be more or less than that. And then a transition. So a sentence or two to transition from component three to your conclusion. So this transition will alert your audience that the speech is coming towards a close. So you need to tell them that you're about to close. Your transition could be as simple as this. In closing, there's your transition.
Mm.
And then you straight into your conclusion. So
Yes.
briefly restate the main points of your speech. This could involve a keyword, a phrase, or a sentence from each of your three components. Just make sure that you do not bring any new material in at this stage.
Mm.
Basically, you tell them what you've told them. I've told you about component one, two, and three. Just keep it short and sweet.
Mm.
And then what comes after that is crucially important. You need to close with impact.
Yeah.
The conclusion may be all that some people remember about your speech. They might remember nothing else, but your conclusion needs to be a punchline, not like you drew the attention in the beginning, and now you
Mm.
need to prepare your conclusion, memorize it, practice it in front of a mirror, record it. Okay. And it's only a few words, but you need to spend a lot of time preparing these last few words, preferably just a sentence or two. And you could spend hours every day preparing this, but this is, imagine all they remember is these last few words. It's got to be impactful. Yeah. And then
Yes.
you
Yes.
hand control back to the master of ceremonies and you're done. So,
Mm. Fantastic. Yeah.
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 Any questions about that, Franz?
No, I agree with that structure. It's definitely a very strong way
Yes.
to prepare a speech. Absolutely. And it brings clarity to your message. And the interesting part is, even if you do a small impromptu speech, table topic
Yes.
speech, like they call it, you
Yes.
call it, um, you can follow the same structure. So there's an opening, there's a body, and a conclusion. So you tell the people what you're going to tell them, then you tell them, and then you tell them what you've told them. Ah, yes, I fully agree with that structure. What is important, maybe from a professional point of view, if you prepare your speech according to that structure, it's important to remember your opening because, so really rehearse your opening and remember the opening. Reason being is normally when you start your speech, you're a little bit nervous. So if you do forget, for example, or if you get a little bit of stage fright, it will help a lot. Seeing that you've memorized the opening, so memorize the opening and maybe memorize the conclusion. I firmly also believe if you've got structure in your speech, then it allows you freedom within your structure. Then you can play around inside the structure. But definitely the format, I fully agree with it, yes. I like that style of speaking.
Thank you, Franz. Franz, do you have any advice on how to practice the speech? Let's say you've written it out
Mm,
and you've read it through a few times.
mm.
How would you practice it
Yeah.
to be able to stand in front of an audience and deliver it?
Yeah, look, we need to understand that there's a difference between preparing a speech and practicing a speech. So a lot of people will spend a lot of time in preparing the speech. So in other words, research your topic, get information, put ideas together. That is preparing your speech, getting your structure in line, that type of a thing. That is all part of structuring your speech. I mean, preparing your speech. So now that you've prepared it, now you need to start to practice it. So there are various ways depending on what is going to be easiest for you. I know a lot of people make mind maps. So they would start with a mind map and plot their ideas into the prepared speech now into a mind map and then rehearse it from there. Other people like myself, my preparation takes a long time. I really, really ponder upon everything if I prepare a speech. When I start to put it together, excuse me. So that already forms part of my um, practicing or my rehearsing. So then you start to read the speech. You read it over and over a couple of times. So this is the way that I do it. In reading it, you will find that you'll find mistakes in the speech, You can rectify it. Then you put it down and you think about it again. Then you realize that the way that you've structured it is not really working. So you can reword it again maybe, or change some of the words, maybe use a humor within the speech, or structure it differently. And you read it through again. So now you're practicing your speech. You go through it again. And then you start maybe to summarize it. And when you've summarized it, of course, you can take what we call cue cards. You cut little cards out with only the key words. And then you start to, again, still practice your speech. I would strongly recommend you record yourself. First of all, only an audio recording so that you can listen to yourself. And then, once you're satisfied with the audio recording, then you can video record yourself. So the purpose of the audio is to see if you really have an impact to an audience that listens. If you are satisfied with the impact, then you video record yourself. So the purpose of that is to see how you present yourself. Well, if it's face to face, how you present yourself on stage, how your body movements, your body language that you use, how it will enhance your speech. So that's why you video record yourself. And then you plan your speech according to the video that you've taken yourself. You know, if you maybe want to go back in time, if you've got a story that you want to talk about that happened long ago, then how you can maybe move, you know. If you want to go backwards into history, maybe you go towards your left-hand side, going back and going back. If you want to go forward, maybe you can either go towards your right or you know, to the front of the stage. So that's the type of things that I recommend that the speaker, well, there's a difference between just delivering a speech and delivering a speech with impact, a speech that can really make a difference. You know, what's the purpose of that speech? Do you want to inspire someone? Do you want someone maybe to laugh? Do you want to motivate someone? So what's that purpose? But to really bring out the purpose, it is a full package deal. So prepare, practice. People that do mind maps, for them it's fantastic. It works for them. Depending on what is the way that you know that you will remember the speech, practice the opening, practice the closing of your speech, and then you can maybe, you don't really have to know the content too well of the speech, because if you know it too well, then it becomes like recitation over and over, the same type of a thing. And that's the way that I prepare my speeches, Frans. Over and over, yes. I
Yes.
don't know if that answered you.
Yeah, that definitely answered. And thank you for
Mm.
those insights, Franz. Um, I, I also follow that methodology, but
Mm.
I also have another way to prepare a speech, which has got also got advantages. Um, I memorize the opening and the conclusion, of course,
Yes.
and then what I do is, like, if I'm very familiar with three components of a subject,
Yeah.
then I just memorize the name of the components, and then
Yes.
that gives me the freedom to, when I
Absolutely.
give a speech, I'm then able to be spontaneous, and I can
Mm.
spontaneously speak about component one.
Yeah.
And the thing that happens there is every time you give the speech, you might say different things, but it remains spontaneous. And you
Mm.
might speak a little bit about component one, or you might find you get a little bit carried away. You don't digress, but you sort of give a lot of meat in component one. And then
Mm.
you know, okay, component two, and you might try and let me just add a little bit spontaneously. And then you find you're
Mm.
running out of time. And instead of going to component three, you just go to your closing and you say, you know what, I spoke to you about component one and component two, your impact closing, and Mr. Master of Ceremonies.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's another thing. If you're on stage, you might find that the program is running behind time, you know. So then you need to all of a sudden make your speech shorter, because maybe you had a 45-minute keynote. Now you only got 30 minutes. So absolutely,
Yeah.
yes, fantastic. Now, on the other hand, maybe the one of the speakers didn't pitch and you need to fill up. So all of a sudden you're 45 minutes become a 60 minutes, or a 75 minutes. So definitely, I
Yes.
like, this is also why I like the way that you do it. I also do it that way. So it gives you almost freedom within your structure. Yes.
Yes.
Mm.
And at every moment during a speech like that, you're fully aware of your step through the speech. Let's say it's a longer speech and you've got 10 components.
Yeah.
You've memorized those components and in their order, and
Yeah.
you know that you're only going to get to maybe component seven,
Mm.
and then you're just going to go to the closing and cut it off,
Yeah.
unless they
Yeah.
give you more time. And then you also have the freedom to just do the components in short if your time is short, or
Yeah.
you can just add a little bit more spontaneously to each component. So you could
Mm.
spin that 30-minute speech out to 60 minutes just by using that technique and close and
Absolutely.
say, "Oh."
Yeah. Mm.
So, and that's a technique that we really need to get a proper grip on, in order to
Yeah.
be spontaneous. And I say, you prepared your speech, but they say, oops, you know what, can you make that 20-minute speech 60 minutes?
Yeah.
But if you prepared properly, you can,
Yeah.
or can we make that 60-minute keynote-ish? We've only got 20 minutes, Can you still
Mm.
do it justice?
Absolutely. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
But I
Anyway, yeah.
suppose that's more advanced sort of techniques that you're.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah, for beginners, it's difficult. I think for a beginner, it's just difficult to speak in front of an audience. So,
Yes.
yeah, but those are advanced techniques that comes with time. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember my first few speeches, I had it all written out.
Mm.
And and of course, you're so excited about writing your speech out, you might not write very clearly as well. And so you basically in front of and you're like reading it out. And
Yeah.
then you get to a point you say, yeah, I don't know what I wrote there.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
And eventually you just have some key points, and then you have cue cards. And eventually you
Mm.
say, I've got my cue cards, but throw them away. Let me
Yeah.
just.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
Anyway, I think it's time for the jester to give us some humor again.
But as a baby computer call his father? Data. Data.
Water, yeah,
Data.
come on, data, data,
Yeah. Yeah.
mama, data.
Yeah. Data. Uh,
No, that is good. Yes.
thing that we're online, so I think it's easy to do online, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
Why
no,
do
that is
why do I not trust spiders?
because of Spider-Man, maybe.
No, because they post stuff on the web.
Ah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Sure. Okay, so I think it's time to call our impromptu Smith. And
Yeah.
obviously, the impromptu master in this case will be able to give an impromptu speech himself or herself,
Mhm.
because there's not too many of us tonight, Joe.
Mm. Yeah. Look, yeah, again, so the purpose of impromptu speeches is basically to allow a person to think on his feet, to put it that way. So what will happen is the topics master or the impromptu smith will give the speakers various topics. Well, there's various ways of doing it, but he will give a speaker a topic to speak on. The speaker do not really have a lot of time to prepare. That's why it's called impromptu. Maybe a couple of seconds, and then they need to deliver on that specific topic. And that is, as I said, the purpose of it is to make the person or the speaker think on their feet and to then deliver, of course, a speech according to a structure. while they thinking basically, while they're going to the stage to speak. Online, of course, you give a speaker a couple of seconds to think, to get their thoughts together, and then so that they can deliver. How does it benefit you in real life? Well, in a work situation where you maybe need to maybe all of a sudden address your manager, or maybe a difficult customer, or maybe just need to speak off the cuff with anyone in a work situation. So when you practice it on a platform like this, then you get used to the idea of speaking without preparing. And of course, the big thing is you learn how to format your thinking patterns, and therefore you'll be able to deliver a message with a lot of confidence. So the way that I've wanted to do it tonight was not really give the participants a topic to speak on, but rather um, I will start the speech and then I will hand over to the next person. So I was hoping that we were more people. So without anything, but that person will then need to start their speech with the following two words: yes and. So in other words, yes, I've acknowledged what you've said, and now I'm going to continue the story. So that is a fantastic way to conduct a impromptu session. And this is what I've in fact had in mind tonight. So obviously this is not really going to work. But the way that I'm going to do it is I'll start the story and then I'll stop. And when I stop, Franz, you need to say yes, and you need to continue. Or whatever it is, you continue. Whether you want to start a new story or whatever it is. If we want to continue on my story, doesn't matter. The big thing is you need to start with yes, and then you continue. So there's a specific thinking pattern behind this. And in a meeting, you've now listened attentively. Remember, good speakers need to listen. Two ears, one mouth. So you really need to listen. And then once you've listened, you can formulate and you can continue. And this is really how this is also going to help you in real life, in a work situation. Sitting in a meeting. Yes, I've acknowledged what you've said, sir. But now you can continue. But this is my thinking. So let me start. Oh, how
Yes.
I wish you were there. Being 12 years
Yes.
old with my dad, inside his beaten up old bakkie in the jungle on safari. What a magnificent experience. Cruising the jungle, breaking through the forests. The bush was a two-lane dirt road. Carrying on, I'm sitting there in front next to him being the captain of his old beaten up bakkie, and I'm the spectator, waiting anxiously, and the next moment, breaking through the forest. France.
Yes. And also remember how lovely and exciting it is to finally get a buck in range and to take that hunting rifle and take careful aim, take a deep breath and squeeze and to get a perfect shot, and that buck just falls to the ground, and you can go up confident that it's not going to attack you, it's not going to kick you or stick its horns through you when you get there, because you've placed that bullet right where it has to be, right through its heart. And the joy that comes when you start skinning that, preparing the meat, and you can almost like just taste the biltong, even before you start taking it to pieces.
Yes, and then I saw the note, no hunting allowed. And the next moment, the bush ranger stepped out of the forest, saying, "Sir, what is it that you are doing?" Saying, "No, nothing." And he said, "That kudu lying over there, Who shot him? And then I was stunned because he caught me with a gun in hand, a knife in the other, and the bush ranger took out his bangles. You know those bangles, Frans? Frans.
Yes, and what do you do in a situation like that? And all we could do was to say to the bush ranger, you know what, we have sinned. We've done something very wrong. We fully understand the consequences, but as a compensation, why don't you just let us go? And the kudu is yours. It's already dead. We can't bring it back to life. You can have all the biltong, the meat, the skin, all the joy. We've even got a taxidermist who will take that head and mount it on the wall for you. Would that be an option, sir?
Yes, and we're famous for bribery and corruption. But this is the way that you can carry on, in an impromptu. When there's a couple of speakers and you want to give each one an opportunity. So you just go through the ranks, ask the next speaker, and the next speaker. And that is a fantastic way to prepare your thinking um, for an impromptu situation. Frans, I think that concludes my task for tonight. I don't know if you want anything else on that, but this is one way that you can do it. Maybe I can elaborate on something else, maybe on your speech structure. So let's say, for example, you get a topic. Let's say we talk about motorbikes. So I can maybe start, and you would say, Frans, you are the going on a holiday. But you're going on a holiday with your motorbike. Please tell us your experience. So then I would start, for example, saying, straddling up my old Harley, sitting there with my knees in the breeze and wind blowing in my cheeks. What an experience. Cruising the roads in Mpumalanga, the best roads. And then I would conclude again to the best holiday I've ever had was that one on my Harley when I straddled it. I've cruised the roads in Mpumalanga, feeling the wind caressing my cheeks, knees in the breeze. And that was an experience of a lifetime. So things like that, for example, you can start, tell the people what you're going to tell them, add in the body, and then in the conclusion you end again. So even an impromptu or a very, speaking off the cuff, we can use the structure that Frans had tonight for prepared speeches. I think that basically concludes my task. But there are options. You can always have different options with regards to impromptu speaking. Yeah, and you can use any one of those. Thank you, Frans.
Well, thank you, Frans. No, you've explained that brilliantly, and I'm impressed with your impromptu um, master delivery, as you really are a master at the impromptu. And being just two of us, it was a little bit of a stretch, but we sort of got it working very nicely, I thought.
I think so,
And,
yes.
and I think on that note, it's perhaps time to call the parliamentary jester again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's too many jokes, I'm not that funny. I'm normally, let me tell you what, I'm normally this. I think when I need to prepare a speech or when I need to deliver a speech, I think people would say, look at that gray old man, grumpy old man. But then I shocked him with the contents of my speech. So I'm not really, I think I did a lot of jokes for tonight, Frans. Maybe it's your turn.
Maybe might or impromptu joke. Yeah, to be honest, I
Yeah.
haven't been thinking about what jokes I can say, but
So how
I
does a
must say,
yeah. How does a coffee snob take his coffee?
um, how does a coffee snob take his coffee? Wow.
Hmm.
I actually don't know.
Seriously. Very, very seriously.
Yes. I was actually just thinking to myself, I suppose not really a joke, but we tonight we are France and France,
Yeah.
and it's actually almost humorous in a way to think of France and France. And I know that France is a really good speaker, and I like to think that France myself am reasonably good as well. And I really think we could, if we wanted to, do a
Hmm.
really great podcast, as France and
Ah,
France, maybe interviewing people or something.
I
And
think so. Hmm. Definitely, I think so. Yeah. We can maybe think about that and do it, put it together.
yes,
Hmm.
no, I was actually thinking that in order to be successful, it really depends on the quality of the people we interview. And of course, we should be live streaming it as well. So
Hmm. And
from
the
Zoom
topic, eh? Hmm.
and the topic, yeah, we got to think about
Hmm.
the topic and we get the questions from the people. And we've got to
Yeah.
make it sound spontaneous, but we don't put them on a spot because they'll never come back again. But
Yeah.
we just ask them the questions, let them talk passionately about it, and we look like such good interviewers then. So,
Yes. Yeah. Anyway. Hmm.
well, I think that sort of brings us to the close of our meeting. And now all we have to speak about now is the upcoming events. Well,
Yeah.
every Wednesday, 7:30, you can join us and we'll be here. We'll be doing public speaking with the object of lifting the public speaking abilities up, make you into a real proper public speaker, a professional public speaker. And of course, France is a member of this chapter as well. And so he can actually do speeches and get credit for it, working towards his associate. And yeah, and I think the actual leadership projects will be very easy for France. So I don't know if you want to start with the leadership or the speech. It's up to you. Yeah, you can do one or
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. No, I'll do the speeches for now. Um. Hmm.
Okay.
I'll do the
So
speeches.
can I send you the material for the speeches? I think I've got the first six speeches sorted out. I can send you all the material. Then, but yeah, obviously we want to try and do them consecutively.
Hmm.
And yeah, over the next 6 weeks, you'll be halfway towards your associate. And after that, it gets more difficult, And then
Hmm.
when you get more advanced, it's difficult to do one speech a week. But yeah, anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay. So that's the upcoming events. Honor point. Okay. Well, I know that we didn't have overly too many people tonight, but even so, it was a productive and an enjoyable network mind public speaking development process, you can say. And
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. And with more people, it's going to be so much more. And then I'd like to thank Franz Norkier for his willingness to do all these roles, the joke smith or the jester and the impromptu master, and he stood in for a lot of the tasks, which is absolutely great. And thank you very much for that. And without further ado, unless is there something you'd like to add, Franz?
No, no, but thank you for the opportunity, Frans. And yeah, let's get the members here and let's get the people to join so that we can have
Yes,
really a fruitful meeting. Where more
yes,
members are present, where all participate, and that's how you grow. Remember, we grow step by step, task by task, speech task by speech task, and leadership task by leadership task. That's the way that
yes.
we do it. But we can only do it if you participate, if you are present, actively participating. Then you are really growing. And then we can
Yes,
add real commercial value to your life. Because remember, we are
yes.
all actually commodities. Um, and the more we know, the higher our value become. Thank you, Frans.
Thank you a lot for that, Franz. Yes. And ideally, we should have a handful of speeches every meeting and 25 to 30 people present. And we're going to have an absolute ball. Yeah. And yeah, we were talking to Franz earlier on about having an online meeting and the next week an in-person meeting, online, in person. And if we can do that, I think we've got the best of both worlds. Perhaps the best public speaking club you could ever join. But yeah, we're going to build it. We're going to make it come true. And on that note, I hereby adjourn the meeting. I should have said adjourn, not to join. Yeah, okay.
Thank